I think the biggest challenges that I've been experiencing and witnessing over these last 5.5 years that I maybe didn't even know that I was going to get exposed to is seeing a lot of what lacks in households. You know, I've had a lot of teens. I've had teens come to me that had suicidal thoughts. I've even had teens that have gone so far as to purchase a gun and their parents sent them to me. I've had teens that, you know, their parents are going through divorces, or there's just an ugly, gnarly stuff going on at home, and I don't think I knew to the degree what that really looked like. Hi, I am Erica Ballesteros. I am the founder of both the Change Project and the youth empowerment nonprofit, the DAF Project. The Change Project is a strengths-based training and development organization that helps people build positive success habits so they can perform at their highest level on a consistent basis. Well, prior to the Change Project, I had spent 15 years in recruiting and training and development and had been just a little worker bee, going to work for someone else.
I met Erica through somebody that was already working there, and not only was like the recruitment process just amazing, she was just a breath of fresh air compared to all of the other folks that I was talking to.
In the recruiting world, you know, we were always so focused on helping people find the right talent and the right human beings, and all of those leaders were like, hey, can you find everyone that has communication skills and problem-solving skills and resiliency skills, and they know how to not just set goals but achieve them. So 100% all of these soft skills.
If I didn't have the skills that you help through, you know, through team building and through soft skill training and things along those lines, I'm positive I would not be where I'm at today. You have to appreciate and understand what every part of your community can bring to do to benefit you, and how you can help support them, because it really does take a village.
Since 2020, BNI members have helped contribute to 81 scholarships of the 220 teams that I've worked with. That's kind of when I got into the community trenches and went from supporting the corporate world and building and funneling all the talent there to, wow, like this is really where the root of the problem exists. Like all of our local employers are saying that we don't even have qualified young talent to support these workforce demands.
In Queen Creek, one of the fastest growing towns in America, what our surveys were showing was that employers didn't feel that our youth were ready to go to work.
And guess what? You know, every single employer in town is saying that our youth don't have communication skills, they don't know how to articulate their greatness, they don't know how to handle emotional ups and downs, you know? And so it's like, well, where are they actually learning any of that?
Honestly, if you don't have a parent that's sitting down, where do you learn those skills?
Coming out of high school, they had a vague plan, despite our educators doing what they could to try and get kids ready and go through some basic testing and assessments. The kids still weren't sure what they wanted to do.
You know, when you are a recruiter and you're trying to staff for people, whether it's support roles, C-level roles, whatever it is, like you want to build something that people look forward to going to. And I felt like, you know, I was at a place where I wasn't looking forward to going to work anymore. I feel like it kind of got me to this point where it was like, nah, girl, like you're meant for bigger things. And so when I started the Change Project, I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's make a bigger difference in the community. Let's help address those youth problems, and, you know, let's see where we can go. Pretty much a month into the Change Project, you know, it was kind of like trying to find, you know, all right, who do I want to serve? And, you know, who are the people that I want to wake up every day and actually breathe life into? So for me, launching the Change Project didn't initially have a youth focus. It was just like, look, I want to help create empowerment, create tools and insights and strategies for people that can get them out of their own way, but also help them become better parents and lovers and friends and community contributors. Number 3, you're going to develop social skills for how to better communicate, listen, understand, collaborate, and just be a contributing member of a team, okay?
The ability to communicate, which is so important in any relationship, right, is there, right? The relationship that you have with your partner, the relationship that you have with your children, the relationship that you have with your boss, right, It's that ability to communicate openly and be honest with each other that makes all the difference in the world.
People need to learn to have open conversations in a polite way.
It can also help people, fix their relationships, because there's certain things you say and it makes us like step back and think, oh, well, I do this and, that's why they react like that. Maybe I should have more patience, or maybe I should address this.
I think that the first thing that kind of really stood out to me about the first course and going through it was just initially learning what my strengths were and understanding what that meant and how it affected me and like my relationships with other people.
Once you start improving those relationships at home, at work, wherever you might be, I think it really makes it easier to communicate, get on the same page, and then go from there. How do we get kids to have the soft skills that they need?
Kids ready to go to work. Survey after survey says that they're not ready to go to work, and that they need some basic skills. So we need some help figuring out what those basic skills are and how do we get those skills to those kids so they can be prepared to go to work for a business like this.
And I think part of that is where Erica's program really comes into play.
Launching that course, I literally, within 6 weeks, I just started calling everybody and their brother. I think that passion and that drive to make a difference was had no fear whatsoever. I was calling Sheriff Lamb, the CEO of Banner Ironwood, which is the biggest employer in town. I look back at that girl and I was like, what? She raised $10,000 in 6 weeks to be able to launch a youth course.
But it really, ultimately, it goes back to how are we helping our youth process the things that they're going through today? What are we putting in place to assist them to get to that next level?
I knew all of the soft skills that employers were really cared about: resiliency skills, problem-solving skills, communication skills. So I knew without a doubt or hesitation, I had to build that.
Number one, you're gonna learn how to utilize your unique strengths to maximize your potential in life. Number two, you're gonna learn how to live with purpose and achieve goals on a higher level.
In the lens of Gallup Strengths, there's been 33+ million people that have taken this Clifton Strengths Finder tool since 2000.
I use this digital coaching tool that is actually architected around all of your strengths. So there's a multitude of things that it does, but it actually really helps you purposefully and kind of intentionally build what you came into the world with.
So if we're more intentional with our choices, then all of a sudden we make better choices with our partners, our friends, our employers.
So those of you, with all of your strengths, you're gonna start to learn different things. Even Geo, you have harmony as number 2. The caveat to that is you hate conflict, and so sometimes that can make it tough if you got into a fight with your sister or a friend or whatever, and you kind of don't want to ruffle the feathers a little bit, but you kind of need to, right? And so I want to be able to show you how to do that in a way that feels good for you, instead of oh, I'm never going to be able to address conflict ever because I don't like it.
And all the stress and the anxiety and the depression and the alcohol and whatever else we do that are bad decisions that don't serve us, we don't make them.
I think a lot of the curriculum that you're teaching them every single day and week over week, right, it is designed for that. It is designed to help them and build up those skills, but then again, take that and be an influence with their peers.
I think a lot of teens' problems right now stem from sort of just this mindset that you have to be more put together than the person next to you, and you have to have more figured out than the person next to you, and you're always 24/7 comparing yourself to the people around you and the friendships that they have and the life that they're living, and maybe what their parents are providing for them and that sort of thing. And it gets hard to focus on your own personal life when you're so wrapped up in what other people are doing and what's happening in other people's lives.
Taking the course, sometimes you have us take a step back, or do your letter for the week, or do your, especially the bucket exercise. It kind of makes you sit there and instead of going go go go, you kind of step back and think of whether family or friends, and then just how much you do truly appreciate them.
And I really loved finding out my strengths. I love the fact that it focuses on my strengths and not my weaknesses. love that about the course so much, that I can work with my strengths, and by building my strengths, my weaknesses will kind of, fall to the wayside a little bit better.
When it comes to training and development, any kind of course, especially, the goal of it is let's help people build success habits and allow for them to change their attitudes, their mindsets, their beliefs, so they can expand what they believe is possible and help them wake up every day and have more joy and meaning and satisfaction.
As parents, we're not perfect. And I think it's important that we step back and understand that and know that, and admit to our kids that we're not perfect, that we make poor choices sometimes, and we stay in situations we shouldn't be, and to take accountability for that and to move past it. Everyone has a past, but we don't have to stay stuck in it.
Erica has a way of speaking to you that just makes you want to do more and makes you want to be more involved.
For a business that wants to become involved, sponsor, we are looking for more leaders in the community that want to empower our babies, and that's what we're doing. So you can,
especially in your personal life, you want to go out and put drops in people's buckets, and you want to, tell people, oh, I think you have this strength, or I think you have this strength. And having that experience, I think that it also just made me more excited to work with more people and more excited to learn more about how my strengths play out in the community. And I think parents should be taking this course in order to learn about themselves and to learn about their kids and to learn how to navigate life together. You have to learn how to take criticism, how to grow. And if you don't have those tools, you're just gonna fall flat on your face.
Us going through it, both of us going through it, I learned so much about her, and we get along so much better. But also, surprisingly, just learning about myself, I'm communicating with my dad a lot better.
Man, if on a basic level we could all figure out this is what makes me great. This is at my core, these are my talents. And if I can understand what my talents are, then I can understand the emotions that those talents create, right? So if I have positivity in my top 5 and I'm around a really negative mom, guess what? Talk about nature versus nurture. I'm not able to shine. My positivity isn't even able to come out.
And it helped me to understand, her strengths are none of mine. And mine are none of hers. We have absolutely nothing. We are so different. And we have butted heads for so many years and didn't know how to communicate. And by doing some of these things, I was like, wow, that's why Paige does what she does. That's why I do what I do when Paige does what she does. So it was really, really cool. I can't count the times going through the course that I actually thought about her and how I could relate better with her as a mom.
I think in the East Valley as a whole, there's a problem with our youth having mental health issues, primarily centered around stress, anxiety, depression.
To watch Queen Creek grow up to this, have such economic and explosive growth is exciting. But I will also share that with that explosive growth, there can be a lot of scary things happening, right? And so that's a part of where I have found, okay, there's these big problems in our community when it comes to mental health, and being able to actually have a workforce readiness, a talent that all of our local employers that are mostly restaurant retail, they need young talent.
Having these types of programs is what's going to allow us to have good employees in the future, good entrepreneurs in the future, good customers in the future.
Having the Clifton strengths, like you take a test and it tells you what your strengths are, and then seeing that, you'll be like, oh, you know what, that's true. I am this and I am that. So it's very easy to take those strengths and, walk up to an interview and be like, well, I am this, this, and this. And then especially if you kind of tell them a little bit of what Gallup is, they even become like more interested in it. And then they're like, oh, so they really do have like these traits and stuff. And they kind of see you compared to, the other youth that don't really know what's walking, like you look prepared.
How can we capitalize on all this explosive growth in a way that allows us to shine, not crumble a couple years from now, right?
You're driving a better workforce to Queen Creek. You're driving a better workforce to Arizona. And most of the kids won't stay, right? They're going to go out. They're going to influence through osmosis. I know that's not the right term, but they're going to influence the people around them, right? That's why it's just exponential. All of the lessons that you're teaching today, they're going to take with them and they're going to teach their friends, whether it's today or in the future.
As a business owner, I know for myself, I want my business to grow, to thrive, to prosper, and to be able to bring even more value to even more people in the community, right? And I think that every single employer has that intent. Whether they are opening up a plumbing company or an HVAC company or a restaurant or retail, all of them have this passion to be able to drive some success. And if you cannot have qualified talent supporting your needs, then how are you ever going to create that sustainable success?
The reason why I still 4 years later keep in touch and stuff is because you've personally helped me grow in a lot of different ways, whether you helped me through my mental health and meet people through there and grow through that, or you've also given me a plethora of business what is it called, new business opportunities, at 17, who's a pool permit coordinator. And then I have an amazing boss at Angel Air named Jake, and I couldn't be happier. He's very supportive.
Talk about building confidence is the most massive curator for dispelling angst. Right? When you think about what our teens are really struggling with these days, having all of this anxiety just comes from a lack of clarity. What's going to go on in my future? And because it's too foggy, it makes sense that anxiety builds.
In both courses, working with Erica, I knew that I was going to have to do stuff that made me, somewhat uncomfortable in social situations. Being put in those situations where you kind of have to deal with it on the spot was really good for me, because I was able to open up more, opening up about your personal life, but also how the course is affecting your personal life. I think that really made me step out of my comfort zone a little bit, especially in front of my peers.
I wanted to create programs where people could develop positive success habits, where they could change their bad habits, develop great attitudes and mindsets, and expand their beliefs so that when they sit back and go, how can I maximize this potential that I have inside? How can I take those strengths and make them into these incredible talents that everyone in the world is going I see you, right? I could actually describe what I see in you because you're shining, right? And so I want to help people get to that place where they can articulate, this is my greatness. And this is the value that it offers, right? If someone's sitting in front of me and they're like, man, I'm super strategic. I'm like, okay, well, you got to be plugged in somewhere where you could be solving problems all the time. Because if you're not utilized in that way, then you're not going to feel alive, right? And so I wanted to help people get to that place, to go from, maybe guilt and shame and ugly stuff that they dealt with because they didn't have a good childhood, to 8 weeks later, having them see this release and having them see joy and peace and awesomeness inside. And
it became a very safe place for me to open up and to really, truly heal. You really can't if you keep your walls up. And I was able to really talk with some of the ladies and form really good friendships and long-lasting friendships. And it really helped me to heal, to move on, and to understand that doesn't have to be me forever.
What I love about it is that it doesn't happen because it's some one-on-one situation. It happens because you have a facilitator that is trained to create an unconditionally loving and accepting environment.
I think the beauty for me of something like the DAF Project is that it is more intimate, right? You do have the opportunity to build a deeper connection with these students to help them with their life skills, and that's what makes the difference.
And then here comes, my senior year, and I am like totally anxiety ridden. I basically couldn't function day to day. I had problems sleeping. I couldn't eat. I was constantly throwing up. Like I was up at 3 a.m, running around on my bike, and like it was just a whole mess.
I wanted to create a program where after 8 weeks, they're like, what? I don't even know who that person was. Like, I am not the same. I am solving problems differently, even if it's sleep problems or eating problems. I am appreciating the ugly stuff that comes into my life, even the darkest stuff, because now I realize it has its value, and I'm able to kind of look at it and go like, cool, like, bring it on. So moving forward, as I continue to watch the town just grow and explode and attract new, bigger companies, okay, like LG is like the biggest one, we're so excited about it, but with that becomes more demands for talent, okay? So for me, my goal strategically and where I see things heading is I want to get with more of these organizations, and I want to find out what are your talent needs, what are your pains and challenges, and how can we come together to help empower more of our youth. So boom, you've got these people just boom, coming your way, and you cannot, whatever projects you have going on that you had to say, oh, it's going to take another 4 months, it doesn't have to. If you have that talent pipeline not only built up, but you're getting excited about it coming your way. So long term, I like to see 5 to 10 years, like so many more leaders within the community taking training and development so that they can put themselves in a position where they're helping their people thrive. And us being able to minimize the freaking mental health problems that we have, whether it's suicide, depression, anxiety, drug addictions, you name it. I would like to see that number just come on down, baby.
I think in the East Valley, the rapid growth, particularly as large employers start coming in, is really going to put pressure on the employment market. And it's going to be imperative that you're able to attract and maintain the right person for your position, even more so than it is now.
Again, you look back at your life and you think, damn, there are 5 people, maybe 5 people in my life that have made that big of an impact. And Erica is one of those people that believed in me and saw what I didn't see to push me to do things that I never thought I would ever do. And that's so cool. It's so powerful to be able to reflect on that kind of experience.
To wake up every day and intentionally steer myself towards happiness and fulfillment and satisfaction and meaning. And that is the goal of these programs. How can I help teens, parents and educators, and business leaders all walk away from that? When I leave this town, it's not that I want like my name to be memorable, but what I want for people to kind of be left with is that they have so much power within them to not just magnetize the potential they have inside, but to wake up every day and look at their life and be like, what? Like a meaning and satisfaction and achievement and way more joy. And I think that to give people that permission and to give them the keys to know, like, you got it. Like, you just gotta freaking put it in ignition and let's go. I don't even know, there's not the automatics anymore, but the point is, like, I want to help people realize that they have the opportunity to drive themselves towards that life that they want to lead. So
things been bothering me lately. Wish I can go back in time and erase it. Fighting demons, fighting cases, living through the laws of trials and tribulations. It's more to life when you chosen. You can do whatever you want, just gotta stay focused. I give you all of me, you act like y'all don't know this. I almost lost it all behind the walls, but I'm chosen. Yeah, get off those ends and I float. When Dooney died, I couldn't cry, I couldn't cope. When grandma died, I swear the family lost hope. I've been stepping in the mud with some boots and a raincoat. He seen us coming and he sped off Usain Bolt. You lost, I'm lost, I guess we in the same boat. Yeah, I seem to love people more that I don't know. My brother, my daddy's son on death row. Yeah, I saw you calling but couldn't pick up the phone. Life is hard, there's a lot of things that been going on. I am scarred, broken hearted, but life goes on and on. Shooting my shot in music, hope I don't miss it, so I keep going. I've been busy. A lot of things been bothering me lately. Wish I can go back in time and erase it. Fighting demons, fighting cases, living through the laws of trials and tribulations. It's more to life when you chosen. You can do whatever you want, just gotta stay focused. I give you all of me, you act like y'all don't notice. I almost lost it all behind the walls, but I'm chosen. Fighting cases, I can't do nothing but face it. Living through the laws of trials and tribulations.